Welcome to your new favorite band, the podcast brought to you by the LA Maybe. And now, your hosts, Dallas Dwight and Drizzle Silvera.
Hey, welcome to your new favorite band. I'm Drizzle Silvera, one of your two co-hosts. Right next to me here, my good friend and companion,
Dallas Dwight. What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, dude, I'm great. This is our second episode. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited. That's one of our hopeful sponsors.
This is our Go-Go juice. This is actually the only Monster I'll drink. The tea lemonade, the yellow one. Man, I love these things.
Monster, if you're watching.
Anyone in the band will tell you how much I love these. But I got my Go-Go juice, so I'm feeling good tonight. How are you?
I'm feeling subpar. I don't have my Go-Go juice.
So. You had a cup up here. I don't know where it went.
It's on the floor because it was in frame.
Mine's in frame. Wait, nope.
Keep it in frame.
There we go. Speaking of sponsors, we have, and we mentioned it last episode, but I wanted to bring it up to you guys again. We do have a VIP thing we're offering. We're calling it VIP. It's basically podcast premium. So what we're doing is we're going to give you guys extended episodes of our podcast every week. So to explain a little bit about that, the podcast is usually going to be, there's always going to be a free version of the podcast available, and that will be the bulk of the podcast. It'll usually be about, between 30 and 45 minutes long. It'll vary. For the extended episodes, you're going to get the whole thing, which is usually an hour 15. So you get that last bit of bonus content there. You're also going to get an extra episode every single month. So where there'll normally be, one a week, you'll get an extra one at least every month. So also we're going to be doing possibly some exclusive merch and things like that. We will see how that goes. And it's $7 a month, or you can opt to do a year for $75. You get a little bit of a discount there. So that's the VIP we're doing. You can go to lamaybe.com/VIP. Sign up for that right now. And the best thing about that is you're really helping support this band, support this podcast, support our growth, support our ability to stay on the road and make new music and bring that music to you guys. So if you do choose to do this, we're eternally grateful. If you don't choose to do that, that's fine too. Of course, you'll always have free podcast content. And you can just go right on over to our store, lamaybe.com/store, and buy a shirt or something to support us that way. So anyway, that's my spiel for the day.
As you guys know, it's hard with COVID to get out there and make as much money as we could be. So this really is a great way of supporting us and putting money in our coffers so we can make it to places like, Tennessee.
We had a lot of people in Pennsylvania message us.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. We had people in New York, California, Seattle, Texas. Chicago, some other places. A lot of people have messaged us, the UK and Germany and a lot of Europe have been messaging us saying, like, when are you coming here? When are you coming here? And we're getting there as soon as we can, I promise. But you got to remember, we're still at the time of this recording, a very young, very new band. So we don't have the clout yet and the finances to get to a lot of these places that we want to come, but we are working on it. And like Driz said, this podcast is actually kind of an idea born from Driz, where he was thinking, and I was kind of thinking.
Most things that come from me are born from me.
That's true. You have how many kids now? 8? There's like a new one every week.
Close. Just 5 more to go to get to 8.
Yeah. So 13? No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm bad at math. Official sponsor drink break there. No, this was born of an idea you had where you called me and you said, like, hey, this is when COVID hit. We're not able to play shows. We're not able to get on the road. What can we do to stay in front of our audience in the same way we would play shows? Like, if we go hit the road every weekend, we're in front of you guys every week, or some subset of you guys, depending on where you are. So what can we do to stay in front of people every week? And this is what we came up with. So this is why we put the time into building this room, into getting the cameras, into getting all the equipment we have. That was not easy. It took us a year to put this thing together.
Oh yeah, it took a long time buying the supplies. What's funny is I remember when the idea came into my head. Mm-hmm. I was sitting on the bed in the spare bedroom of my mother and father-in-law's house because we were in the middle of moving to this current house where the studio is. And I was just like, we were talking on the phone. We had spent a lot of time talking. We were trying to come up with all different types of things, and working on the album, release dates, blah blah blah.
Oh, you
all
and me
this,
were talking, you mean?
Yeah, we were talking all the time at this point in time a year ago, and so anyways, yeah, I was sitting on that bed and I was just like, dude, we could fucking do a podcast, like
a broadcast,
a prodigy cast for you and myself.
Welcome, we're your prodigies. How arrogant is it to call yourself a prodigy? That's one of those things other people have to call you that. You can't call yourself a prodigy.
You can.
Well, that's true.
I'm gonna go ahead and just go out there and then step out and say I can, and I just did. I didn't say child prodigy. Okay, I'm not
an adult prodigy. I'm very humble. I'm an adult prodigy.
I hit my prodigy prime at 30.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took a long time to become as amazing as I am. This is my humility coming out.
100% humble, 100% of the time.
I am 100% humble, 100% of the time. I love that. That's going on a t-shirt. First podcast inside joke. Podcast about producing. There is a podcast I used to follow with that in the title. It was about producing. It was the shout out Sam Matla. It's the EDM podcast. It's all about producing EDM music.
Yeah, mine's just due to lack of being able to speak.
What did I say earlier before?
Production.
We were
broadcast.
We were talking about being offensive, and I said something like, "I've never used an offential or something." Dude, we're so dumb. Already episode 2, and I'm asking, why are you listening to this?
Yeah, why? You should be asking yourself the same thing. And I couldn't even cut to the camera. Like, it's just falling apart.
You're a terrible producer.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about how this podcast was born, which we'll expand on a couple episodes. We talked about this last time, but the first 10 episodes of this podcast are going to be all about Dirty Damn Tricks. We'll be breaking down Sucker Punch here in just a little bit. And we'll also probably be talking a lot about how this podcast was born and stuff like that. And then episode 11 on, we'll be moving into what we originally kind of came up with the idea for this podcast.
Yeah, it's sticking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just going to stay the podcast.
Exactly. And that's it's why it's called Your New Favorite Band, to talk about new awesome rock bands and to have a lot of our friends on the show as well. Probably via Skype, because there's not a lot of room in here right now, but we'll figure that out later.
Yeah, it's in the works. It's all in the works.
It's all in flux.
It's all gonna be all right.
Yeah. Notice we have new mics this week, and we'll have new mics again next week.
Yeah, if my shipment from California comes in time, bro.
Yeah. So, anything else to talk about before we dive into Sucker Punch here? Do we want to talk a little bit about Sucker Punch before we actually move into the session? You want to talk about a little bit about the song in general?
Yeah, I mean...
Let me rephrase. Let's talk about... It's not a question.
What about a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So, well, let's start with square one. What...
So originally it was called Low Life, High Life. I really like I could tell you were going somewhere great. Let me jump in.
Let my brain function.
Yeah, so originally it was called Low Life, High Life, and it had a totally different chorus. And actually it just started with that chorus alone. And it followed this kind of riff. And then we built the rest of the song around it. I was just kind of jamming to the end of that chorus, trying to what can come after this. And I think I actually improvised that riff. I improvised some part of that riff, the main part, the weird turnarounds and stuff. And I remember stopping the recording, being like, "Oh, I don't even know what I did. Let me go back and learn it." So I went back and learned it, tabbed it out, sent it to you guys, because it's kind of a tricky, weird turnaround and permutation of that riff, you know?
Yeah. It's just playing around, dancing around.
Yeah. 1-2, right? And are you good there?
Yes, it's just every time I hit cut, it's like doing a double cut. So I'm not have to press it with a little more authority or less. I'm not sure.
Cool.
A little more of lessness.
Bring a little more of that prodigy here to this podcast. Sorry, podcast. So it started as that, and we wrote the entire song, and we still had that old chorus in there, which I wanted to. We might consider doing some of this. You guys will have to let us know if it's something you're interested in. Bringing in some of our old demos and the various stages of songs and showing those to you guys, as far as hey, this, She's Reckless on the album. Here's where it started. Here's demo 1. Here's demo V2. Here's demo V3. All that kind of stuff, and kind of breaking it down that way. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think folks might really dig that. I mean, again, let us know in comments. Hey, yeah, we want to hear that.
Yeah, or hey, no. No, don't say no. Be nice. But anyway, so Low Life, High Life is what it was called. Like I said, it had this chorus that was kind of clunky. It went to like a slow halftime. So like the song itself was like dun ga dun ga dun ga dun ga, and the chorus went to like a boom boom ga boom boom ga boom boom ga, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, and
I remember hearing some. Just dumb, dude. Don't like that.
Yeah, so we kind of decided like the chorus. We talked about it last week. It didn't pass the chorus test.
It did not.
It was a strong song except for the chorus. It didn't pass the chorus test. So we thought about like this is actually really interesting how this ended up coming about. We were in the studio recording drums, and we did not have the final chorus yet. We were recording drums. So I told Foz, all right, just lay me down like a 4 on the floor beat, where you're just going like boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, doing that kind of thing. And so we laid that down over what we had, so it sounded horrible. But we knew we were going to change everything else. But we had the drums. So, and at this point, we didn't even have the chorus written. We just had those drums.
Oh yeah. We had the entire song written, and last minute, Foz is like, dude, this really like I just really don't feel this. We need something like it loses all its energy going into the chorus, going to that halftime beat.
We just
got to keep it, going, and so
we tracked those drums and not knowing what we were going to do with it. And everybody's recording process is kind of different. We've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it again. That we've recorded all of our own stuff at this point. So we're not in a studio. We're in your old house in the basement recording drums in a way. We collaborated with Machine, our producer, and he was helping us implement some techniques that were kind of outside of the normal, drum recording stuff. Some stuff that he kind of pioneered. And so we're in a basement. We're in a house doing all this ourselves. And we track these drums, and then we have no idea where we're going from there. So I take it home and I start thinking about like what we can do, come up with a new chord progression and some new kind of ways to play it, make it bluesier. That's where we came up with the da na 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 da 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 da, what became the chorus.
Yeah.
And so we had that. We started writing that in there and recording it and going through the process of calling Rasan back in, calling the guitars back in, because a lot of this stuff we'd already tracked, I believe, right?
Oh yeah. The song was done. Like it was ready. Like it was ready to go. Except
So we have this new chorus, but we still don't have words. We just have the instrumental at this point. And at one point, we have rehearsal scheduled, and I'm driving over to your place, and I'm listening to the song on repeat, as I do when it's time to write lyrics, and I just drive around thinking and singing and trying new stuff. And the chorus hits, and I just go, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Because I had this chorus with a friend of mine, an old chorus, where it was kind of similar. The words were similar. It was, I'm a fireball tonight, and it wasn't I'm burning deep inside, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I love those words that we came up with. Let me see if I can just fit them here. So I'm a fireball tonight. I was like, I like that. And I'm burning deep inside. And then I just remember going, and da 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 da. I knew I wanted something fast there. And I'm driving while I do this, and I was like, oh God, I have to remember this. So I swerve into the gas station. It was that QT on the way to your house.
Yeah.
And sing it into my phone real quick. And that's how I locked it in. And it changed a little bit probably, but that's how I locked it in to something that we could work with from there. So then we just added the words, and we came up with the chorus that is there now today, which is a much stronger chorus than it was. So
agreed. Yeah. It's
props to Foz for calling out, that it didn't pass the chorus test. And we actually have another song that's going through the same process right now. So
yes, we do.
So hopefully, we'll write a better one until it passes the chorus test, because it has to for us. What other stories come to mind for this song before we... Oh, you know what? We should talk about the story behind the name. So before anything, before any music, I knew I wanted to write a song called Sucker Punch. So we had Low Life, High Life. And it didn't have any words except for the chorus. And so when we decided to change the chorus, I was like, okay, we need new words. I'm going to call it Sucker Punch. And so, that I thought of that before anything else. And the reason I thought of that was because Alvy, our singer, was... we were at a gig. We were watching him play with his Guns N' Roses tribute at the time. And after the gig, everybody's kind of just hanging around. Everybody's like taking gear off stage. The lights are back on. It's kind of, everybody's cleared out. There's like a few people left. And I was just talking to this guy he's on stage, like coiling cables and stuff. And this guy's down, I guess, with his girlfriend or wife or whatever. And Alvy, I forget exactly what transpired, but Alvy, presumably no bad blood. The guy's not giving off any indications of like aggression or anger or anything. Because Alvy leans down to shake his hand and goes, "Thanks so much, man." And the guy just punches Alvy in the face.
Oh, yeah.
So Alvy just dives off the stage, and these two guys start going at it, and everybody's trying to pull him off. And the guy was like really, really an odd dude. And they get him all separated and all that stuff. So anyway, we decided like, we got to have something called Sucker Punch. So that's where the name came from. And then we kind of just put all the lyrics on. Oh Sugar is another song that came in title first. And then we just wrote words around it. I'm trying to think if there's any others. You remember?
No, I remember titles changing,
Titles change pretty consistently.
Yeah.
She's Reckless was called Get Out for a long time.
Yeah.
Because when they're instrumental, you don't have words, so you don't know what to call them, so you just name them whatever.
Exactly.
Oh Sugar was always Oh Sugar. Mr. Danger was always Mr. Danger. That was another one that came from title first, I think.
Yeah.
The others were kind of all in stages of flux, I think.
Yeah.
I think Fake was originally going to be called Bitch, but that changed so early on that it's not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, I think you said it's like, dude, I mean, just
well, you know how
think about it, because I mean, people are buying our albums. Someone buying it for their kids, they'll probably be like, no, like right off the bat.
Well, you remember, "You're just a fake." It was originally supposed to be "You're such a bitch" or something like that.
Yeah,
but we changed it because that was kind of lame.
Yeah.
Up Next to You was originally called 717.
Yes.
It's still called that on the hard drive that has our album on it, by the way.
So since recording that, I see 717 on everything.
Really?
I see it on clocks. I see it on my receipts, gas pump. Like I just see it everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy how like you buy a RAV4 and you've never seen a RAV4 in your life, and now you see them everywhere. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That happened to me when I got my first RAV4.
And and still to this day, I'll be like C717 and I'll be like, "This is sweet, dude."
Nice. So I've never seen it.
Even though it's...
Or rather, let me rephrase. I've never noticed it.
Yeah. Well, and it did it again.
It's like... People are like, what the hell?
Yeah, real fast. Just machine gun switching over here.
It does a 360, so you're trying to cut to me and it just back to you. You're like, ugh.
But Sucker Punch, man, that was a fun one in the studio too, because I remember the intro. We were just kind of like messing around.
Go ahead. I'll remember.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. We were messing around with like sounds, and it just wasn't quite where you wanted it. And then I was
for
like,
the intro,
yeah.
I bought that pedal just for that. You remember? I don't remember the name of the pedal. It's a rotary pedal of some kind. It's like an old school one. Remember this thing showed up like it looks like it was made like the 80s or 70s.
I'm trying to remember who made that.
I think it was a TC?
No, it was the ones who make the soul food Electro Harmonics.
Yes. So maybe it's not as old as I thought. Sorry, but it's a rotary pedal of some kind. I can't remember the name. But we tried a bunch of stuff in the Kemper. We tried running. So we were still using the real amps, but we tried running the Kemper through the effects loop, which did work. We just didn't enjoy the sound. It wasn't the exact sound we wanted.
You ended up running through my rig with some pedals, right? And then used my guitar.
Well, remember we tried Daniel's Telecaster, which you can see in the When I'm Gone video, and we'll talk all about that story when we get to that song. But we used that Telecaster, and the strings were so old, and we just replaced the bottom two strings.
That's right.
To get the sound. And then we decided the sound still wasn't what we wanted, so that guitar just sat for a long time with just the two new strings and four old strings.
That's right. And I had my Paul Reed Smith S2 Studio with me.
That was the blue one.
That's the more greenish one.
Teal one, yeah.
They call it, I forget what they call it, metallic green or something like that. They only did that guitar for 3 months. By the way, PRS, if you're listening, I love you guys. Let's talk.
There's one on the wall behind.
Yes, one on the wall. I'm currently messing around with this one.
Show this to the people. There we go.
So this is a Mira or Myra. I've heard people call it different things. But I've currently taken out the stock pickup. I've got a Filtatron type Seymour Duncan in there. And then I've also put on a Bigsby. And I'm just really trying to go for that kind of Angusy.
More like Malcolm, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, more Malcolm. I don't know where I'm going for more of that Malcolm type sound.
Really open.
More driven than his sound, but yeah, I really want to hear the note definition separation that you get from these pickups. So, and I figured I might as well throw the chunk of metal on. I don't really plan on using it that much, but again, PRS, if you're listening, I love you. Love you.
And we know that you
I love you so much.
I can vouch for he really does. He's not just saying this.
I
'cause
bought
other people
my
are listening.
first PRS. God,
You like PRSs like I like Les Pauls.
like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I have 4 of them now.
Yeah. That's the same. Well, I've had my Les Pauls for a little while, but not really. I had my gold top. And I had that in 2014. 2015. I bought it in 2015. And then I got the Tiger in 2019, and then the rest since then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to get another one.
Yeah. So you should say something to the camera to Gibson.
Well, I don't have any guitar I can hold, but
Well, just say I love you or something.
I love Gibson. I love Les Pauls the way you like PRSs.
It's true love.
It's true love.
Yeah.
What were we saying? Oh, the intro. The sounds.
Oh, yeah. So,
And we'll show you guys all this stuff we're talking about when we get to the session in a few minutes. The other thing I was going to say was this is the one song. This is the song to talk about how much attention to detail we had in this process recording ourselves. This is something we could not have done if we went to a real studio. And that is we set everything back up, called everyone back in to change one note in this song. Do you remember that in the pre-chorus?
Oh.
Remember, because we went dun 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 doodle diddle doodle diddle. We changed one of those notes because we realized it was clashing, and it'll be hard to identify the exact note because it'll go by so fast. But it was one note we changed, and you play a different part live. That's why it might not trigger.
Yeah, I remember that. So we had to come back in. We had to retrack the chorus. We had to redo the chorus.
We did that,
but then we
yep.
had to redo that one note too.
One note,
Yeah,
the pre-chorus.
Yeah.
And then we had there's some really fun leads in this song that are not probably immediately apparent. The intro's just filled with wacky stuff. There's delays, rotaries, filters, congas. Like there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think I remember there even being a split humbucker.
Probably.
I think you split. I try to remember exactly what you did on the PRS.
What was it that PRS that was the intro guitar?
Yeah, that's what you ended up using. Yeah.
For which part? The dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
The rotary part? Yeah. That was a rotary, right? It's not a chorus. We used an actual rotary pedal.
Yeah, it was a rotary pedal.
Yeah.
I remember plugging that in and it was I set up the pedals. I had my that was one of the few songs. That was one of the only parts where we had more than one pedal at all.
Yeah, and all my stuff, there were no pedals in front of the amp. It's just the amp sound.
Yeah.
Which I love. And your stuff, it was pretty much the amp sound. We just had the blues driver, honestly, not doing that much work. It was just a little bit of touch.
Yeah.
A little bit of sprinkle on top.
I had the clean channel just cranked on 6 or 7, depending on how much gain I needed. So I had that thing just working on the clean channel. It gets this really awesome, amazing, crunchy sound. And then you just put it into that really nice rock and roll thing, kind of like 80s, just raw rock tone when you add that Waza blues driver. So
yeah, for sure. That pedal, I think, was on just about every song. It's fun, though,
Yes.
kind of going back mentally. We should have probably taken better notes. We should do that this time.
Yeah.
Better notes, more like videos along the way. We do have that video of you catching your amp on fire, though.
My tubes went supernova, man.
That's for album number 2, so we'll get to that later. Why don't we head on over to the session here? So we're looking at Sucker Punch. I think where we should start is the same as any song, and that's how about the intro. What do you want to hear first? Do you want to hear... how about a story here behind this first little cymbal swell? Okay, so a good friend of mine, Bruce McKagan, he would come over and we'd do a lot of sessions and stuff. Fun fact, he's actually Duff McKagan's older brother, but that's neither here nor there. He had a friend come over to do drums, and he did a cymbal swell for a project we were working on, and that cymbal swell has made it into, I think, pretty much every project I've done, and that's this cymbal swell right here. So big shout out Lou Mondelli, the drummer extraordinaire, for having a cymbal swell on the album here. We wanted to start with a bass heavy, this was kind of inspired by Velvet Revolver.
Yeah.
And we're teasing that riff that's going to be coming back later.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Rasan does a cool little bass turnaround and then drops to the low. Right, riffing down there. Percussion, we have a stupid fast shaker.
Fun fact, Foz might have carpal tunnel from that.
Definitely arthritis. Now here you'll hear
Fact. Foz might.
fact. Carpal tunnel was had on this album, and also for other reasons. This is a fun little thing we did. We do this in a couple places on the album. We had a recording of like the soft shaker and a recording of the hard shaker, and I cross-faded them. So the sound literally goes like, and it like changes instead of being a sudden change. Tell me if you notice this here. Oh, here it is. Sorry, it's later. My bad. You can see the waveform here if I make it bigger. See that waveform change?
Oh, yeah.
So we made it a steady.
Kind of has like a train thing going on.
It's cool, right? Yeah.
Like
Fast shaker.
Freaking. Woo, woo.
Yeah. Let's talk about the drums here. They start with this really nice, just riding hat, man. Little accents there. Coming in with a big hit. Just classic, like, massive build-up, you know? Now here's, like, the fill of doom. There's two in this song. This is the first. I love how the build-up just kind of, it just falls into the fill. It feels like you're falling downstairs, but, like, in an organized way. And that's where that shaker, if I turn the shaker way up.
I love that last little bit.
Yeah. And that's where the shaker picks up. Let me turn the shaker way up. And I'm going to turn those drums down.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the shaker's not doing a ton of work there. That's where we go, if I bring in the bass, that's where we go from the intro to the big main riff. Oh, we love a little more bass, huh?
Maybe a little too much.
And that's interesting that Rasan chose to kind of echo the chords in a different way. He's da 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 da, where we're going da 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 da, right? So they have different kind of sounds. We'll get to the guitars in a second. You want to talk about some keys? Keys are pretty simple here. They're just padding some stuff. The organ. Dominant 7. Just between root and 7.
That's all I needed, though.
And we have the rotary.
Yeah.
The rotary kick on. The roadie. And I think it's going to jump up an octave here, if I remember. And that's where shit picks up. So if we bring those other three instruments back in.
Even that by itself is pretty freaking rock and roll. Like, no guitar, that still sounds...
And we love doing these, just running up the organ, and then also down. Running out. One of the nice things the organs do. You want to talk about some rhythms?
Yeah, let's
talk about the leads first, actually, because this is the rotary patch we talked about. So run me through the signal chain again. It was me playing, but it was your PRS through your Blues Junior, right?
Yeah, my Blues Deluxe reissue. Yeah. So, and the reason being was you knew the part that you wanted played, and I'm kind of like that tinker with the pedal guy. Like you're like, oh, just get something that sounds good. I'm like, all right, I got you, bro.
Yeah, you're the.
And so I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there on the ground, just like, okay, all right, let's go. I forget what we ran into first.
We tried a lot. I remember we tried a lot of stuff over like 3 or 4 sessions.
Yeah.
We would try and be like, nothing, let's try next time, you know. Or we got it, we thought we got it and listened to it, didn't like it, let's try something else, you know.
Yeah. Let's
a while
let's listen to it real quick and see if it sparks anything.
Right off the bat, I'm thinking about how much more gainy that is than I remember. There's some crunch on that.
Yeah, and it comes across as somewhat clean in the mix of things.
And changing the rhythm of it too. We push it dun 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 dun, and then we go dun, just steady changing. So it's a minor change, but we did that to match the drums.
So having heard that, I'm pretty confident that was amp with no drive pedal. That was a pretty good reference of where my amp was as far as like just without the drive pedal.
Yeah.
We were hitting the rotary, and then I feel like we were hitting that TC Electronic reverb. Just a touch.
I don't know. It's possible. I mean, I hear reverb on the end, but that could have been added by machine because these are the mixed stems. Right, so that's something he could
I feel like that was one of the parts, because we did use that, and I think this was and it was so subtle.
Yeah.
And then position on that one, I'm pretty sure that was the middle position, which on the ST Studio splits the it's kind of think Strat-ish, like super Strat.
Oh, we
fat
split
Strat.
the
so you
pickups,
we split we split the humbucker in the bridge, and that middle position on that's not the middle pickup, it's the neck and the bridge.
Oh, that's interesting. What is the middle pickup then?
The middle pickup is only on position 2 and 4.
Ooh, those are my favorite positions on a Strat.
Sorry, yeah, 2 and 4, yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Before we dive in, there's obviously no vocals, no solo, no piano, so we've heard everything so far except for the main rhythm guitars. So the delay is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. All I'm playing is bum, 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 bum. And this is what you do live.
Yes.
But this part was me in the studio. That's what we were trying to use the Telecaster on. And I don't remember what I think this actually might have ended up being the Gold Top. I don't remember what it was.
I'm not sure which one it was, yeah.
And I believe to get the sound we wanted, so you can easily play it, normal. You would just do it all, easy. But to get the sound we wanted, I think we ended up capoing the 2nd fret. And then, so we could play open 7, which would be 9, open 9, open 9, open 9, open 9.
That's right.
Because we tried doing fretted and it didn't have the same sound. Because I wanted that open 7 sound, but we're in F sharp in this song instead of E, so we had to capo up. So we love doing little weird studio tricks like that you could easily play it live, it won't make a difference. But in the studio, it's those tiny little things that we love.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can tell that's an open string.
Yeah.
No finger touching it. Now here comes the filter sweep guitar. And you can tell those are all the downstrokes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, fun fact about that part too. We kept going back and forth. Oh, what should we do? I think it was between you and me. And was it? Do we just go? I guess technically, position wise, if you're thinking standard tuning, F sharp, A, E, B.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We did it all on the same string.
Yeah,
So
we did it.
Yeah.
Because I had been playing it like that, and you're like, oh, I like hearing that slide in there. I like hearing the slide up to that note. So that's what we ended up doing.
And we did a lot of testing with like strumming, so down and ups, versus just vicious down picks, which is a little bit impractical live, maybe depending.
Yeah.
But the down picks just beat the strumming so hard on a riff like this that we were just like ferocious down picks. So these are all downstrokes, if I remember.
If that part wasn't when the band comes in, it definitely was, like when the full band comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring Rasan in so we can hear that bass thing that we were talking about earlier, where he goes up, where we go down, and we're gonna match pitch on that one note.
Awesome.
Let me give him a little more volume. Then we get to the verse, which we'll talk about in a second. I wanted to talk about this lead, which, again, a lot of this intro is echoing the main riff that we'll hear immediately after the first chorus. That's what the bass did in the intro. That's what this lead guitar is going to do right now. And it's going to keep holding, and I think I slide here. So this riff is actually right here. So we were talking about this last week too. There's a lot of guitars going on in our music. Occasionally, there's a lot of guitars going on, and live there's only 2 of us, so we have to pick and choose and mix and match and do creative things to represent the parts that need to be represented, and some parts get cut. This part in this verse is an example of a part that is you're not going to hear live. It gets cut because what I'm choosing to do is in the rhythm track, which I'll show you in a minute.
Yeah.
But this gets cut, which is kind of a jangly, higher version of what the band's playing. Then we get into what you play live. We'll keep going on this track for a minute.
That sounds, when that first came in, dude, like, I just got to say, it sounds like a swarm of angry hornets just coming at you. Like, that tone.
That's why that Marshall amp I'm playing has that effect.
Yeah.
You can really hear the pick on the strings. It just sounds mean. Like, snarly, right? Then we jump into the pre-chorus here on the lead guitar track, and this is what you play live now. So on the rhythm track, we were both doing the same thing. So what we decided was I'll just stay on that, which we'll talk about in a second as well. And that includes the note we changed, that we came back and recorded one note. You jump to this kind of Night Train by Guns N' Roses E part. Yeah, and that's this part here. Now, we're on a roll in the lead, so I'm going to stay on the lead. By the way, that's this track if you're following along with us here. I hope I didn't just move it. Let me make this jumbo for you guys. We get to the chorus. I swear I had to play this part 100 times to get it right because it's so specific. And this is something else that's not live. You won't hear this live. But it's so specific, it took me forever to track this part. You'll hear a machine crossfaded between those because you're hearing the machine's mixed stems. So he bust them down to groups for us. So you're hearing a lot of tracks. Like for example, what you just heard, 2 guitars doing the same thing, doubling. We talked about that last week as well. And then you're hearing the other lead track come in, and you're hearing all of it together, all on this lead track. Thanks to Machine for giving us those mixed stems. And it goes on to that. Let's head back. We were in the verse. Do you want to listen to some vocals? That's where they come in, right?
Yeah, let's check it out.
I gotta play the game. They say I'm fighting destiny.
That's verse 1A. Then we kind of get into verse 1B.
But I'm gonna let you in on the story. No, nothing's ever gonna get the better of me.
Now the pre-chorus.
I got no time to lose.
Big note here.
And I'm running out of choices to choose.
Nice little grit there. Shall we discuss some other elements? Any notes, thoughts on the vocals or the lead guitar so far?
Yes.
Before we move on?
Has anyone figured out what this song is about?
I haven't heard anyone tell me what it's about.
I mean, we know what it's about, but yeah.
This song, that's a good point. This song is similar to Fake. It's talking about how having the grit and the drive to succeed even when everyone's telling you can't. That's basically what this song is about. So I've heard I got to play the game. They say I'm fighting destiny, like, you're never going to make it, give up. But I'm going to let you in on the story. Nothing's ever going to get the better of me, right? So here we come. I got no time. What is it?
I got no time to lose.
Yeah, I got no time to lose, and I'm running out of choices to choose, meaning like, we're going for it. Success. That's the option, right? How about some organ? Organ in this song, for the most part, is just kind of... Is there piano? There is piano. Oh, yes, and the big riff, we double it like we did in Mr. Danger as well. Just kind of riffing on the organ there.
Yep, sounds nice.
Bass and drums, just kind of doing what bass and drums do. Oh, riding that big floor tom.
Yeah.
pedal and bass, one note.
Oh yeah.
Then we get to
Man,
the
I
chorus.
forgot how good that floor tom sounded. Thank you,
it's
Heil
just
microphones.
massive.
Thank you.
Heavy. Now we haven't talked about the rhythm guitars. Snarly.
So snarly.
Now here's where we change. We do the same thing for verse 1A. 1B and 2B. You go into more of a chord, and I go into a single note. So if you're listening on headphones, which I encourage you to, if you're in your office right now, left will be me on the rhythm, and right will be Driz on the rhythm. And that's an example of me adding an extra note.
Yeah.
You don't do. So it kind of gives it a little off balance, right? It's off balance, but it's off balance on purpose. So you're going da na na na, and I go da 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 da. I add that little extra note. Now we get to the pre-chorus. This is where we change the note.
Yeah.
You're going to hear us go. Send those little hammer-ons, that kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, then we get to the downstrokes.
Downstrokes, dude. We were downstroking so hard. We're looking like we're having actual strokes.
You can, you can call me Dally Downstroke. Let's bring in those leads with that. Ah, yes, and the massive drum fill out of the riff. So we talked about at the beginning how Foz just recorded a straight beat. And then what we did is we wrote the chorus around that. And then I had to go back and then like copy and paste the beat and like tweak it and like move stuff around to make what he did match us.
Yeah.
Because he just gave me like a template. And thankfully he gave me a couple extra hits, like little stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember there being several takes and just like, yeah.
So I got to splice around between them, like the halfway point, for example, right here. Let's see. That da boom da boom ba. He did that at one point, and we got to copy that around. I love this fill. And ride that crash cymbal. So heavy. I mean, I love listening to these two together.
Thanks.
Right? Now, we haven't talked about the backing vocals.
Yes. Oh, that was so much fun. And it sounds so good on this one.
So we have Alvy on the lead vox here.
I'm a fireball tonight, and I'm burning deep inside. So you better start running away like you mean it. You say you don't believe me, but I'm a coming at you like a sucker punch swinging away. I drove all through the night to burn it all down again.
Right? A lot of words going on there. It's a difficult chorus to sing. We wanted to accentuate that, and we added some 3-part harmonies to the main part, and then I doubled everything down an octave. And I intentionally sing with kind of a bright voice. Right? Hey, I mean it, kind of nasally. Because I personally like the way that sounds on a lower octave. Way like you mean it. Doesn't cut through as much as way like you mean it. It's the same note, but it sounds so different.
I'm a fireball tonight, and I'm burning deep inside. inside. So you better start running away like you mean it. You say you don't believe me, but I'm a coming at you like a sucker punch swinging away. I drive all through the night to burn it all down again.
So we put Alvy in there with the lead sitting on top, and now you have a nice...
I'm a fireball tonight, and I'm burning deep inside. So you better start running away like you mean it. You say you don't believe me, but I'm a coming at you like a sucker punch swinging away. I drive all through the night.
Now we get to the riff of Doom.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the latest episode of your new favorite band. This is the end of the free content.
But if you want to unlock the full uncut versions of every episode, head over to lamaybe.com/VIP and sign up for our membership. For $7 a month, you'll get extended episodes of our podcast, a bonus episode every month, plus exclusive merch. You'll also be supporting us and helping us continue to stay on the road and make new music. And for that, we're eternally grateful. So thank you.